Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents The Dave Holly Hour. Brought to you by TJS Ceramic Studio, Posh Boutique in the Bridges at 57th, The Sky & Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire arts and entertainment conversations. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
Happy Thanksgiving. I am truly thankful for all those that have appeared on the now 206 episodes. I'm also thankful for my supporters, my volunteer, quote-unquote, unpaid staff, and especially those of you listening, whether you're a regular or this is the first time you're listening. Great to have you. As for today's show, we finally had a chance to get together for a great conversation with actor/singer/voice coach Mo Plastow. She's in the upcoming Mighty Corson Art Players production of Those Crazy Ladies in the House on the Corner, and she's busy teaching voice lessons at Effervescent Voice Academy. Then comics William Conway and Zach Dresch return to talk about this Saturday's roast of fellow comic Ian Reiland Smith. But first, let's pop the cork on this bubbly little show. Time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day and your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party. Wherever you might be, whatever you might be drinking, that might be dependent upon what you're drinking out of, and be careful regardless. Anyway, lift them high to those great times when you see someone you haven't in several years. Here's my situation. Earlier this week, had to get a gift certificate at Starbucks for someone's Christmas list. While there, I decided to get a coffee. The very energetic barista asks, "Whose name for this order?" I say, "David," and she says very enthusiastically, "You're Dave Holly." It was Callie Loria. She and I worked for an arts and entertainment publication together over 15 years ago. Such a pleasure to chat with her. Got to talk about her dad, because if that last name sounds a little familiar, her father, Jim Loria, was one of the main people that got the Sioux Falls Stampede Hockey Club underway. And just a pleasure getting caught up with her. And yes, Callie, I will be back to your store. The Weekend Eve Toast is brought to you by The Sky & Tea. The Sky provides all caps fun. That is best had with friends. Have fun playing darts, shooting pool, listening to great live music from local musicians, or, like what I did last weekend, have fun singing karaoke at The Sky. If you need some extra room to hold a company party or a benefit, The Sky's back room fits the bill. No matter what's going on at The Sky, it's local and it's lively. Honorable mention. So what over the past week made Dave laugh, guffaw, chuckle, chortle, giggle, smile, maybe even shed a tear of joy? I think it was all of them. Last week's The Vaughties show was top-notch. Great crowd, incredible talent, even a lighthearted moment where yours truly didn't have enough time in the costume-changing department to get his shoes back on. Thankfully, holiday theme, and I had on some wonderful Christmas socks. So thank you to everyone that made that show a success, and as well especially to the folks at MCAP. Ryan and Logan, thank you so much. You did such a great job getting that place ready and making it look great. Coming up later in the show, we hear from comics William Conway and Zach Dresch. Up next, Mo Plastow on the Dave Holly Hour.
Check out the new ceramic studio in Sioux Falls, conveniently located off Kiwanis Avenue on 5th Street. TJS Ceramics, inside Oscar's Mini Storage. We have thousands of classic vintage ceramic mold items and several new items too. TJS Ceramics offers classes, special open studio nights, and completed ready-to-purchase items. Bisque, studio time, or painting parties are available. Visit TJS Ceramics Studio in person today or email tjsceramics@gmail.com for more details.
Comedy magician and hypnotist Jesse Moffat's right. He can't play the piano, but he can sure entertain crowds with his amazing magic and clever quips. His shows always make the participants the stars, especially when they've fallen asleep on stage. They've been hypnotized. Are you the party planner in your group? Then you owe it to your group to make the event magical, even if it puts you to sleep. Here's how.
For booking information, go to Jesse Moffat Entertainment on Facebook. That's JESSEMOFFITT. Or call 605-929-0964.
Are you an artist? Need some funding to further your art? There's a great opportunity for you through a Sioux Falls Arts Council program. The Artist Microgrant program gives away several microgrants to local artists, no matter what art discipline you're in. Unlike more traditional grants, a microgrant is very easy to apply for. Go to artssiouxfalls.org. If you haven't done so yet, create a listing on the Artist Directory, which is beneficial in its own way. Then go to the Artist Microgrants page and apply online. The process is simple. Find out more about the Sioux Falls Arts Council as well online at artssiouxfalls.org.
He's a bit flirtatious, but most of all, fun. Once again, here's Dave Holly.
Welcome back, everybody. Of course, you know what I'm going to say because you're good, faithful listeners, and you know I need to start off with it's always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire art and entertainment. And you also know one of my favorite things is having a new guest on. Well, I don't know how it took 206 episodes, other than she's quite busy all the time, but we finally have her. Mo Plastow. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you,
Glad to hear
Dave?
that. I'm also doing well. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And here we are. It's a Thanksgiving time, and oh my goodness, lots of things going on, though. I mean, you've always had lots of things going on.
I'm always busy. I'd rather be busy than bored. Yep.
Exactly. I say that often myself. And you've jumped into a lot of different things, but
Yes.
let's first talk about what's coming up in, about 3 weeks now.
Yeah, about.
It's going to be MCAP, Mighty Corson Art Players, the Crazy Ladies in the House on the Corner.
Yeah, say that 3 times
I
fast.
know. I was sitting there, I was writing it the other night when we were playing trivia because I wanted to promote it, because it's the trivia is brought to them by Dave Holly Hour.
Right.
And so I wanted to promote the episode, and I'm sitting there writing it and went all the way across the page.
Oh, yeah, it's a title.
Yes,
for
it
sure.
is. So tell us about the play that you're going to be doing that starts on December 15th, which, by the way, is a very important date.
It is.
Yes.
Isn't that like your birthday?
Oh, how about that?
Wow.
I guess it is, isn't it? And I also know there's going to be a special guest in attendance on opening night.
Yes, I do know that. I'm pretty sure Sioux Falls Santa is going to be opening night.
Well, he's not Sioux Falls Santa. Some other guy grabbed that title. But there is a guy that, he is Santa Claus, the real one, from the North Pole. And he's going to be there.
Very good.
In attendance.
I'm so glad that the real one from the North Pole is going to be in attendance.
Exactly. All right, so let's talk about the play itself.
Yeah, of course.
Give us the premise, and then we'll talk about your individual part and so forth.
Sure. So those Crazy Ladies in the House on the Corner follows 3 crazy ladies in the house on the corner, and the whole show takes place in their home, and kind of they're navigating family relationships with each other, new people that have been introduced into their lives, like their physician, their doctor wants to have this nurse come and live with them. And that, of course, is a big ordeal because they can take care of themselves.
Exactly.
And so watching that sort of relationship bud off of not so great start, a not so great starting point, it's hilarious. And then they come to terms with it and develop this beautiful friendship with this person. And then the nephew comes in and has thoughts and opinions and wants to put them in a home, and they don't like that. And so there's just...
Because once again, they can take care of themselves.
They can take care of themselves, absolutely. And it's just incident after incident with the three ladies, and it's heartwarming, it's hilarious, and you'll walk away feeling good about it. So.
All right. And besides the feel good, is there a holiday theme to it?
Oh, yes. It goes over the course of a couple of holidays, like Halloween, which we've already just celebrated recently, and then also Christmas happens in the show. So that's also super fun. Is it goes over a couple of months, and because it goes over that amount of time, you really get to see the relationships develop, and it's cute.
All right. And what is your part then?
My part is Jean Mitchell, and I am the nurse that comes to live with them, and they don't like me when they first meet me.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. But after some convincing, they start to warm up to my character, and it's just a really sweet bond. And Jean has these three older ladies who are looking after her, and she's looking after them, and it's a really beautiful symbiotic relationship.
Oh, nice. I like those. That's because it becomes, it starts off as this challenging role, and then it becomes this heartwarming and loving role and so forth.
Right.
How did you approach it, and what did you do to say, I'm putting the Mo Plastow stamp on this?
Oh, see, Mo Plastow is a little quirky, and so I'm very comfortable being a little bit odd, and so Jean Mitchell in the show has a couple of moments where she is very engaged in the conversation with the ladies, but also has a couple of one-liners that are witty, and with those, I was able to really build her character and develop her sense of humor. Otherwise, it's just going to be a stuffy nurse role. And I didn't want it to be like that because I wanted it to be fun, and I wanted the character to be lovable and engaged with an audience.
Did you audition specifically for this part?
I did.
You did? Awesome when that happens.
As much as I would love to have been one of those crazy ladies, I don't think enough makeup would have aged me up enough.
Point well taken. Yeah. Yes, because you've recently been a college graduate. And we'll talk about that and what you have already gotten into and so forth. But, is this your first MCAP show?
This is my first MCAP show, and I'm really looking forward to it. I had auditioned for one other show and had been offered a role, but I had a conflict that I'd been offered a role, but I had accepted something else already, and I couldn't do both at the same time. So I had to really wrestle with that. But
all right. And let's see, directed by Logan Levitt.
Yes.
Yeah. And how is he to work with?
He has been really fun to work with. I've had the opportunity to be in one other show with him. Granted, I had worked opposite him instead of as a director-actor relationship. And so it's just been really fun to watch him come into his own and develop relationships with his actors and kind of his direction he wants the show to go. So.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to it. December 15th. It's a Friday night. Is the opening night. And then there's 2 shows on Saturday and 1 on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So a great run there. It'll be a fun ordeal. And again, some guy with a red velvet suit and white beard is going to be out there on Friday night for pictures prior to.
There you go.
Yeah. So bring the whole family.
Absolutely. It's a show for the whole family. And opening night, some guy in a red suit.
Yep.
Don't want to miss that
No,
sight.
you don't. I was, fortunate enough to see you at a few of the productions at USF. And you always did a marvelous job. And
thank you.
And you've been moving on now, doing some of the community things.
Yeah.
You did a great job in Fox and the Fairway.
Thank you.
Down at Old Town. That was just... I love Old Town for its farces.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. I have seen many shows there, and I always chuckle especially with the farces. But yeah.
Yeah, they always put on fun stuff, but MCAP puts on great stuff too. And so what's next for Mo then?
Well, after college, I had been doing voice teaching stuff at the Effervescent Voice Academy. That was founded by the lovely and ever fabulous Amy Morrison. And since her passing, I have been kind of helping with the direction of the studio, mostly as a teaching team lead and taking the initiative on our initial fit meetings that we do for incoming clientele. And I have the most availability, so I do a large bulk of the private lessons as well. And we're planning some classes and trying to get involved, and we go and support our different students in different shows, which is super fun. So
in fact, today would have been Amy's birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She would have been 52.
Yeah.
So.
And just an absolute marvelous. I always like to talk about, someone being pretty or attractive and so forth, the words that you might use for physical look. But I save beauty for the whole work.
Oh, yeah.
And she was such a beautiful woman.
She was.
And the way that she did things. And, I decided a few years back at the young age of 58 then, that I wanted to take voice lessons.
Okay.
And there was only one person I was taking them from, but that was Amy Morrison. And I learned so much and obviously also had a great time with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But now you've kind of taken over and she loved you. The two of you were quite close.
Yeah, we absolutely were. There were multiple times where we would go to a show together or be involved in some sort of thing, and people would see us out and about, and people would ask either her or myself, is this person your daughter? Are you two related? And it was kind of an honor to be related that close to her, just because of similar interests and how we carried ourselves, and of course fashion. I loved her fashion, so
yeah, a lot of fun in that regard, no doubt.
Oh yeah.
So what do you take from her as you are now guiding Effervescent?
Yeah. Well, whenever I step into the studio space and I'm working either something for myself or with a student, her presence is just palpable there, and it's such a warm and bubbly and inviting space. It's really a treat to just go and make music, and when a student comes in with either some victory or some struggle, it's just really unique to get to work with them on such a personal level. And so my first thing is, when students come in for an initial fit, I want to get to know them as a person and then a vocalist. Because yes, your singing's going to happen. That's what you're there for. But in order to encourage them in a way that's unique to them, because they are a unique individual, I have to get to know them as an individual, and then I get to know them for their voice and help them find their voice kind of buried beneath it all.
When we're in college, we all think of, having some type of goal. I'm going to hit a big doing this or what have you and so forth. But when you were going to USF under the tutelage of her, did you think that you would be taking over a voice academy?
No.
At a young age.
Right. Yeah. It's mind-boggling. I have told people this many a times, that graduating college, I did not think I would be where I am right now. I love where I am, and it's fantastic, but it wasn't within my realm of reality at that point, because there's nothing like it in Sioux Falls, and Amy worked really hard to build that and establish that legacy, and I just get the privilege of letting it live on and kind of encouraging it and pushing it to grow and bring in more students and just watch it flourish into something beautiful. So,
what got you interested in the arts?
oh, that takes me way back. Okay. So when I was younger, my mother had done a few, maybe like 2 or 3 community shows. And I remember her specifically in a performance of White Christmas. She was ensemble and dance and all that stuff, but I just remember her big blue eyes under the stage lights, her bright red lipstick, and her perfectly curled hair. And I was like, she gets to dress up and dance and sing. I like doing all of those things. And so just kind of seeing her in something, and then I was so young. I don't even remember how old I was. She took me backstage and I got to meet all of these cast members, and it was just truly a magical experience. I was so entranced by everything that happened behind the stage as much as on the stage and in front of the stage. It was just cool.
Yeah. And, that's one thing that, well, first of all, like 20 years ago, if you graduated from USF or Augie and wanted to be in the arts, we were usually saying, oh, hey, have fun in New York, Chicago, or Los Angeles. Now we get to say, oh, great, you're sticking around. Mm-hmm. And there's been so much growth in what's available. But that also leads to the fact that I think what else has been great to hear is that how many people in theater aren't just on stage. Mm-hmm. They learn about all the other aspects of it, and not just learn about it in the classroom, but actually do so in a production then. And so besides being on stage, what do you really enjoy about the tech part?
Oh, so costumes are so fun because...
Well, that's kind of in your wheelhouse.
I guess. Yeah, I like dressing up. Costumes are fun. Lights make or break a mood in a show. So just getting to see the artistry with lights and the artistry with scenic design and the way pieces move in and out. It's all one big choreographed dance. This has to move at this time in order for this entrance to happen, in order for this plot point to exist. And there's so many small parts that make the whole production possible. And I'm just so passionate about the awareness surrounding the whole thing because, yeah, seeing the stage and seeing the show as an audience member is awesome. But being able to talk about the other things that happen to maybe someone who has no idea what the arts is about is such a unique experience. And you get to answer questions that they're like, well, how does this work? And you get to talk about the ins and outs of, well, for this one scene in this one part of the show, I have to run all the way out into the hallway and go up these steps and maybe come through this tiny little door for this sort of entrance. Or I have 2 people helping me put on a different layer for a costume. And it's just small things that are easy to mess up, but are also really cool to get right.
Yeah,
so
it is. I like the way you said that the whole thing is one big choreographed dance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great way to place that and get, a good mental image of it for those that aren't aware of how everything goes. I know that my wife and I have the same season ticket seats in the Orpheum for everything, and it's right in front of the tech crew. And to realize how busy they are in everything. And I think, let's see, in The Little Mermaid, I believe that Kevin Wittering told me they had like 460 some queues in that show.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
That show was a gorgeous spectacle.
That was, yeah. And a lot of great singing in it, too. Mm-hmm. So you talk about the fact your mom was in, you remember her being in White Christmas. Mm-hmm. That's one of our favorite productions, I will say. It started off as a favorite movie of ours. Right. But we were up in the Twin Cities one time at Christmas time, and all of a sudden we go, hey, look, White Christmas is on.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went to that and loved it. And then just like a year or two later, they had it at the Pavilion. And it was even greater because the Pavilion's a little bit bigger than the theater we'd seen it in. So all the snow that they make happen is just
I bet that was
very,
amazing.
very cool. But
yeah.
if maybe I'm not even asking, let's first find out then, have you ever been in White Christmas?
I have not.
If you ever get to be in White Christmas, what is the part that we'll see Mo Plastow playing?
Ooh, I don't know. I would be happy in any role because that happens 40s, 50s usually, and I am a sucker for the 50s
Oh,
fashion.
you're retro, aren't you?
Yeah.
I love it.
That is my favorite era of style.
Yeah.
The hair, the makeup, the clothes, the heels.
I always think that if I had been in a different era, it would have been post-war, late 40s Hollywood with the very colorful suits and short ties and all that. Yeah, that's the one I want to go for.
There you go. Very nice.
All right, so let's talk about, well, first of all, let's kind of recap a few things.
Mm-hmm.
So Friday, the 15th of December,
Yes.
is when MCAP starts up with those crazy ladies in the house on the corner.
Uh-huh.
I had to remember it just exactly like that. And so there will be a Friday night show, and then there's two shows, a matinee and an evening performance on Saturday, and then a Sunday matinee, correct?
Correct.
All right. Yeah. So go online, go to Mighty Corson Art Players, not Arts Players, Mighty Corson Art Players, and take a look at them on Facebook or just search them on Google and make sure that you start ordering your tickets because I have the feeling it's going to be a lot of people at that one having a lot of fun. And then Effervescence.
Yes.
Effervescence what's the actual title? Effervescence Vocal Academy?
Yes, the
Okay.
Effervescent Vocal Academy.
All righty. And so
Voice Academy.
Voice
I was
Academy.
wrong.
Oh, okay. Whew, yeah.
I say I'm a vocal instructor because
Right,
that
so it's
sounds
easy-
more
right.
professional.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I teach voice lessons.
Right, exactly.
What are the hours and so forth that you have there?
We are open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So there's lots of after work
Yes.
flexibility, weekend flexibility, which is so nice because a large portion of our students are middle school, high school, sometimes college age, or like adult students who have a job and so they're not available until after 5 p.m. And having those after school, after work hours is nice because then they get to come and do something for them and make a little music.
Yeah, excellent. And any all the rest of the world has Black Friday specials and so forth.
Yes. So the Effervescent Voice Academy will be releasing a special discount code on Black Friday that will go through the end of 2023. And it's offering a discount on our initial fit meetings, which are typically priced at $100 for the entire hour, where we get to know you as a person and also has a little mini voice lesson wrapped up in there. So instead of the $100 for the hour, we will be doing that at $75 for the hour. So you get 25% off getting to come hang out with myself.
Right.
So.
And then save that 25 for, to go toward lessons.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Perfect. All right. All right. So the final two questions and the way that you answer question number one might determine whether we have to ask the second question.
Oh, okay.
It's always tradition here. So when you are not part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
It varies. I really like reading books. I read a few things here or there, and especially if I'm cozied up with a cup of tea or a glass of wine, those are usually my go-to beverages. With a nice blanket or putting on a film. I like watching movies for the cinematography and also the musical scoring underneath it as well. It's one big project similar to a production on the stage. There's a lot of things going on there. And so it's really fun to appreciate each detail for what it is. Or naps. I take a lot of naps. I like to be well rested.
All right. I'm still going to ask the second question,
Okay.
but before that, go-to authors then.
Ooh, go-to authors. I've been reading a lot of memoirs and autobiographies recently.
Mm-hmm.
I recently read Behind the Jukebox or Before the Jukebox, which is Scott Bradley's memoir before he had created the musical group Scott Bradley's Postmodern Jukebox. I also read it wasn't a memoir, but it was something for Marilyn Monroe, and that was a thick novel, and I really enjoyed that, and it kind of delved into some of her personal life outside of her being on the silver screen and becoming the icon she is. Or Julie Andrews, she has a couple of memoirs out there that are wonderful, talking about film experience and Broadway experience and just her whole life.
So then the follow-up then is any other hobbies?
I like to make music.
We know that.
And
that's more of an avocation for you, though.
I make a lot of music, and I like to do yoga. I like to stay active and focus on my physical well-being along with my mental well-being, and just taking care of myself and my loved ones.
That might be the best answer to that question we've ever had on this show, and it took 206 episodes. Oh my. Mo Plastow, I have the feeling that this may have been your first time on the show, but won't be your last.
Well, that's very sweet.
All right. Thank you for taking time to be on the Dave Holly Hour.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right, and we'll be back with more in just a moment.
Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XO Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or exokairos.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XO Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
Helping women feel empowered and confident is what Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th does, while supplying high-quality clothing that fits your lifestyle, personality, and price point. Whether you want comfy and cozy, casual attire, or something for a special occasion, Posh provides quality, selection, and value. They carry sizes extra small to 3X and have something appropriate for any age. Feel empowered and get confident. Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th.
And now, more of the Dave Holly Hour.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, yes, you know what I have to say. It's always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment. Well, we had a first-time guest before, but these guys, they're veterans. They're old pros. Well, I don't know if they're necessarily that old, but they're here. And they're here to talk about a whole bunch of other people, too, because they're comics.
And we don't even have to be nice.
No. One of the other comics in town is going to be roasted.
That's right.
On Saturday night.
Yes, indeedy.
All right. Ian Reiland Smith.
I am here.
Just kidding.
That was good. That was actually pretty good.
And he's been on the show before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you guys have returned because you're going to be a couple of the roasters, correct?
That is true.
All right. And then we were talking. So first of all, haven't even mentioned your names yet. One you obviously recognize because he's the guy that opens and closes the show every week. Zach Dresch.
How are you, Dave? Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm better anytime I see you.
Oh, likewise.
I have Chotsky to give you for that.
Oh.
And William Conway.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. It's good to be
Excellent.
here.
Great to have you both here and talk about Ian Reiland Smith. Now, is this a birthday that we're roasting, or is this just, hey, we got to roast him because we've been roasting everybody else, too?
I believe it's just a roast.
Just a roast.
I'm pretty sure his birthday's in the spring.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, that sounds
so
about right.
we're roasting
I don't
him
think
for
it's
shits and
birthday
giggles?
related at all.
I think so.
Okay. That's always a good cause.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, it's interesting though because your roast was near your birthday, right?
Yeah, mine was a birthday roast.
True.
Because
Couple
mine,
years ago.
yeah,
mine was like a week after when they did my roast.
yours is
a week
January or
after my
February.
birthday,
Yeah, something like that.
because they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it on. I think it was open mic night. I think because my birthday was on a Wednesday and we did the roast on a Friday. Or
That
something.
sounds right. That sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't mess with the opens.
Yeah.
That's how you guys always get started.
So I guess that's a bad time to plug a show. I've got a mic and a regular show. I'm just kidding.
Feel free, my friend. Feel free.
Oh, no.
No, we'll talk about, Ian
it
first, and then I'll let you expound on what you guys have coming up on your own schedules. But so this is going to take place Saturday night. Where will it take place?
Club David.
Club David.
Yes.
Tim Jastrom is going to be the master roaster, the roast master roaster toaster.
Yep. Or he goes by Tim Asram. I don't know. As a joke. I don't know. Jim Asram. I don't know.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it cleaner
There's
for the
some
show.
ramming involved. I know
Some Dodge Ram. I don't know.
Yeah. And this is Thanksgiving that this show's coming out on, by the way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there will be a feast.
Oh, yes. Quite a few of us are pulling out the stops as far as the group chat goes that we've been seeing. So it's definitely an event you don't want to miss.
Right. I've been pretty quiet, but that's because I don't want to tip my hat.
Right. Holding back. I know how that goes.
Well, basically, I don't want everybody to yell at me before the roast. They can yell at me after it.
Right. Yeah.
Roasts are something special, that is for sure. I remember being at yours, Zach.
Yes, thanks for doing that, by the way.
You're quite welcome. That was a fun time. So, it's interesting because the person that is the, MC for the night, for better words, gets to basically roast everybody along the way.
Right.
And then everybody that does the roasting, obviously, comes up and they roast the special honored person.
Right.
And then, of course, a few barbs come back to whoever was talking bad about them prior.
Right.
And so you've both been roasted. You've both roasted other people many times.
Yep.
William, what's your favorite part of a roast?
You know what? I think my favorite part of a roast is, usually the person that's up there at the time, they'll do their thing. And then when they get to the end, they'll roast the person, but then they also tell them how they appreciate them and,
True.
And,
right.
Because the thing is, a roast can seem pretty mean, but it's actually an act of love to, especially in the comedy world.
Yeah.
And so to see the love that's behind those things, that's actually my favorite part. Really.
Yeah.
You have to be comfortable enough with someone to be to say the stuff that you're about to say on stage.
Yeah. Right.
So
Well,
and obviously,
Right.
we don't want Ian to have a preview of what's going to be taking place. But, are there certain things that you guys like to hone in on when it comes to knowing who the person of honor is?
That's tricky. It's tricky because, especially when you know the comic well, you might know something that'll make 10 people laugh because they all know that thing,
part.
But it's not really good for the audience because the audience doesn't get at all why that's funny. So it is kind of tricky in that way of because I like to be I like to kind of do a specific one that I don't think anybody else is going to do.
Right.
But if you get too specific, it's lost on the audience,
Right.
And how many roasters will there be?
At least probably a dozen.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
So when you have a lot like that, first of all, it gets lengthy. So
I'm going to look up the list right now so I can give everyone a shout out.
There's a couple people on there that I don't even know.
Right. And then, you sit there and, each person does even maybe just 5 minutes, but with all the interaction between time and so forth.
Oh, it can be a long night.
It can take a long time. So you have to keep everybody laughing throughout that time. And so to your point, William, maybe it's only going to be 10 people on one little thing, but in those 5 to 10 minutes you have doing the roasting, you still have to do something that the audience is going to be able to take in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Here's a list.
Okay.
Sarah Manson.
All right.
Of course. Lita Windles, who's organizing the whole thing. Will, of course, you. Dylan Times, Drake Strong from Sioux City. Irene Dangles, Jerry Irby, Tim, of course, as we mentioned, Chris Fryer, Kerner, Becky Boudreau, also goes by Titsy Visions on Burlesque, Logan Hartnett from Sioux City, Ariana and Dale from Burlesque as well, and Yuka Lady from Sioux City, and myself. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16.
Jiminy Christmas. Jiminy Christmas.
Wow.
So mine's going to be short.
Right.
And there's Ian, so 17 technically.
True.
And Ian's not in the chat because we want everything to be a surprise.
Obviously, yeah.
So
but you brought up some names from Sioux City. Drake Strong.
Yes, yeah.
He was a great savior one night for me.
Oh, how so?
Well, he and Gary Lewis had performed in Tea at the Sky.
Right.
Yes, and Gary and I have been friends since first grade.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And we've spilled a few drinks together and so forth. And those are brand new, Dresch. That's a brand new mic stand. Have you put the damn thing in the right place yet?
No.
Okay, keep working on it then. We already know the gig's up. We've got sound effects in this segment.
Okay. I was looking at the bar instead of your eyes. I didn't like that.
Right, yeah, that's why I'm like crouching so I can.
I was like doing this.
Yeah, anyway, so it was a couple of years back, and it was the first snow of the year. And, of course, I was familiar with everything at the Sky because I did trivia there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, Gary is a Scotch drinker. I'm a Jack Daniels drinker. And I made the stupid mistake of trying to go drink for drink with him throughout the night. And so I know I'm going to be driven home, that I won't be driving.
Right.
And as we go out that side door, and nobody had
iced it
or anything.
Put salt down or whatever.
So I went flat on my back, and I hit hard.
I messed up my back real bad that way.
And my wedding ring flew off.
Oh, no.
And my phone flew someplace, and Drake was the first one to come out and actually get me up.
Oh, wow.
And then we find the cell phone, but then it's like, oh, man, my wedding ring. Ooh, this is bad. And so we fret about it. We call the Sky the next day. And then throughout the week, everything melted. Well, our very good friend Melissa said, she says, my brother's got a metal detector.
There you go.
I'm going to go out there and see if I can find it. So she goes out there on a Sunday, and she figures, I better go in and tell the bar what I'm doing so they don't think some weird person's out there. And she says, I got to look for a friend's wedding ring. And Boomer was working at that time, the bartender there. He says, you mean this one? So the whole thing came out great. But, man, I hit hard.
Yeah.
But thank you to Drake for coming out and being the first person to pick me up. But
actually, I do remember that story now.
Yeah. But that list that you kept going through, that's the great thing. And I think that's what people miss out on a lot when it comes to our comics and our comedy scene in Sioux Falls. They tend to think just, one way. But every one of you has a different style.
Yeah.
Not just that you're,
not
that you're just having different bits.
Right.
It's different styles, the way you approach it and so forth.
Yeah, everyone has a drastically different style. And so everyone that I've talked to has something else different planned that's crazy or unconventional. I'm sure there's a couple that are going to do normal routines, just insults and go, love you, see ya. But it's all over the place. I've got some stuff up my sleeve. Not going to say much, but it is character driven.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. A lot of stuff. And my favorite part about roasts is I get to channel the meaner side of me that I normally don't get to on stage. I've got about 5 or 6 roasts under my belt now at this point, and each one has had a different vibe. The last one I did, I think, was Night Shield's roast in February. Yeah. That was interesting because I was like the only white person on the lineup besides Jen Mack, and I made several jokes. I walked up and I said, I do not belong here. And I'm like, I don't want to say anything, and everyone's like, say what you want to say. Just do it. See what happens. I'm like, no.
Like, how dare you just say it?
Dare you.
And so this is taking place this coming Saturday.
Yes.
At what time?
I believe it is 8 p.m. Let me double check that, though.
And it's at Club David.
Yes.
Is this a public event?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there any cost to get into it?
Yeah. Ticket. There's an Eventbrite ticket link for sure.
Okay.
So if you catch any of the, because it should be on all the posts, right? Is it in her thing?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Let me see. The Eventbrite says, as far as price goes, ooh, sometimes the Eventbrite's kind of tricky. Oh, $10. $10 admission.
Mm-hmm.
And time slot.
Which is incredible value for how many people you're going to see.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's looking like 7 p.m. to 11:30, which my guess is 7 is doors.
Right.
And let me see, 8 p.m. is time slot.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
If you want me to chime in or record later if the time's wrong, let me know.
Yeah.
I think usually 8 p.m. seems like the time that.
Yeah.
Is it going to be upstairs?
Downstairs.
It is downstairs.
Oh, downstairs.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, we do the open mics upstairs because I mean it's smaller turnouts,
yeah.
It is what it is. But,
makes more sense.
Yeah, but I have the feeling there might just be a few people there, and then obviously besides the comedy scene, will people that he worked with.
Well,
probably
yeah,
be
and
there
I mean, Ian's a great comic. I mean, he's a reigning comic of the year. I mean, it's not like it's no slouch. He's got a draw for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's 8 p.m. So
okay, yeah. And for me, every time I see him, I always say, God, I'm worried because I see you and all I think of are his initials IRS. It's like, oh God, well, holy hell am I in now?
At the burlesque show that they did at SuperCon, because
I was not able to make it
because Becky and Ian hosted that. It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really long show. It was like a 4-hour burlesque show. But it was phenomenal, and I mean, they did such a bang up job hosting that. It was really good.
Awesome.
So I mean,
I
would imagine you probably
that
might
night.
get some people from that.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, because there was a lot of people at SuperCon. I mean, that place was packed in there at SuperCon.
Right.
Yeah.
For $15 a ticket, whereas I was doing free trivia and improv. And had about 5 people at it.
You know, I had a show that night too. I had a show that night too. That's when, that guy from, who the heck came to town? I can't remember what show. We had a
Alex
show at
Hooper?
the Icon. Huh?
The guy from America's Got Talent?
Yeah, Alex Hooper.
Yeah.
Alex Hooper. He had a show at the Icon that night. And I think we sold 7 tickets. I mean, SuperCon killed it.
Oh, it did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was Friday. So Friday night, they had that wasn't the burlesque show. That was the wrestling that we lost out to on that Friday. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I feel like I had something else going on too. I was out of town.
I'm surprised that you would have had something. I know, like another gig. I like your latest post about one of your bands out of the
6 or
7
7
or 8. Yeah. It's going to be playing. All right. So, again, it's open to the public, $10, and you can go on Eventbrite. Will they also be available at the door?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And the doors will open at 7 at Club David, and 8 p.m. is when the show will really get full strength. All right. So we've done that bit now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about comedy and upcoming stuff for each of you guys. William, what's on the docket these days?
So I'm co-hosting a podcast called Coffee with the Dog. We live stream Monday through Friday on like 30 different platforms.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually getting kind of crazy. I got to interview Tommy Chong on that like about a month and a half ago or whatever. We also interviewed he was one of the stunt pilots for the Top Gun Maverick movie.
Oh, wow.
And interviewing that guy was so cool. You know, one of the things that you probably know, one of the things I love about doing podcasts is like hearing different people's journeys, you know, and this dude literally, he saw Top Gun when it first came out. And then, like after college, he joined the Navy and joined up and like went through a whole career, was like squadron leader and stuff like that, and for naval aviators. And then he joined the Blue Angels for a while, and now he does stunt piloting. And he did stunt piloting in the Top Gun Maverick movie. And it's like, dude, how amazing does that have to feel to like see a movie, be like, hey, I want to go do that, and then just become the man and doing, you know what I mean? Just, you know, that's so beautiful to listen to people's journeys and stuff. So doing Coffee with the Dog is super awesome. I love doing it. Comedy shows I have coming up. We have, so the roast here, and then I have on December 16th, there's a toy drive show that's going to be happening at Windy City Bites. The admission for that will just be a toy. You know what I mean? So, I mean, a brand new toy during the holiday season is going to JC's, is who the charity that they're going to give the toys to, so that the JC's can go and hand them out for the holidays and stuff. So that's like the last chance show for the Comedy Slam. So that's December 16th. Then January 12th, I have we're doing a sober show. Dylan Times is going to be running the sober show. That's going to be at Black Flag Studios on January 12th. And then January 13th, we have the Comic of the Year competition at Icon Lounge, which is going to be huge. Like, so a lot of exciting stuff happening. Plus, I'm working on some music stuff in between there. So.
All right, fantastic. And then Snow Jam's coming up in January. The final one.
To the 21st, I want to say.
Yep, that's something like that. Yeah, 18th or 20th, something like that. Yeah.
All righty. All right, Mr. Dresch. The man that needs 84 calendars to keep track of all the different things that he's involved in.
20 minutes for
This is airing Thursday, right?
Correct. Yeah. So happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble.
Last night, wink. I will have opened for Hairball at the District.
Hell yeah!
Which is a weird Big Red Rocket ride. I'm filling in for them.
Yeah.
So it went great. Super great. December 2nd, 2 of my 7 bands is playing at Icon at Antimatter Music Festival. $20 a ticket. The Disarm plays the rock stage at 8 p.m. and Shock Value plays the hip hop stage at, I want to say, 9-ish.
How smart of you to book multiple gigs with multiple bands
right
at the same venue on the same night. That's
right, striking the set. Oh, 9:40 on the hip hop stage. So I'm basically going to be playing the rock stage, moving my drums over the other side of the building. And
we have a cart.
Oh, yeah, I have a cart. Yeah, I should get a dolly.
Yeah.
Hello, Dolly.
Hello,
Dolly.
Hello, Dolly.
A couple more. I'm almost done. I swear to God. Thursday, December 7th. Trey Eilers from Illinois is going to be performing at Club David. He's headlining. We're also doing an open mic that night. He created a mosaic out of small Rubik's cubes. He does stand-up comedy, and he's had his Rubik's Cube mosaic at like a festival that Jerry Seinfeld was a part of, and like I think even Nate Bargatze. So like this whole thing is huge, and he's blowing up with all that. So it's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be fun. And on Friday, December 8th, Improv Falls, our monthly show at Icon is happening, our Christmas show. And if you're in the Brookings area, Friday, December 15th, we will be at Sully's Irish Pub.
No, I will not, because I will be here. Well, I'll be at Corson, actually, in a red velvet suit. And it also happens to be a special
next Vaughty show?
Too. No.
That sounds fun.
They're opening up their Christmas show that night.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So, yeah, if you're in Brookings, if you happen to be in Brookings and you happen to be hanging out at Sully's Irish Pub, I host a monthly showcase in Brookings now. With,
oh, wow.
Just kind of the first one we did last month was a big success, and we're doing a second time. We got Sarah Manson, Adam Googe, and Eric the Green. So,
all right.
Should be a good time.
Fantastic stuff. Always a pleasure to see you guys, but you also, having been on the show before, know that you get 2 final questions.
Oh, yes.
How question number 1 is answered might depend on whether we need to answer the second one. William, you get to go first. So, when you're not part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
what do I like to be entertained by? And I'm not allowed. I probably can't say Pornhub, right? That's not.
Well,
no,
if that's what it is for you.
Well, that was my answer.
That's
So
very. No, my wife and I, we're really into '90s movies. We watch a lot of movies from the '90s.
Huh.
We're very nostalgic.
Yeah. Any particular like group or any director or anything?
Dude, there's everything.
Okay.
Everything. Because like A Few Good Men, probably one of my favorite things I could.
That is my absolute favorite movie ever.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
you'll appreciate this then. When I was in prison, I actually had wife number 2 send me in the Jack Nicholson monologue so that I could learn it. And so I know that thing word for word. I learned it in prison.
Did you know that when they were shooting that scene, when they were shooting the others in it and so forth, he was still there acting it out, not just reading the lines.
Right.
He was there and Rob Reiner, who directed that, had said one time that before they ever started shooting, Nicholson had memorized that because he went through it 50 times before they even started. It's amazing.
It's such a passionate monologue. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I opened for Kevin Pollak years and years ago at Nitwit's Comedy Club. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, in the basement of the brewery. I opened for Kevin Pollak down there. That was a long time ago.
I remember.
Yeah.
I was at that show.
I was there.
I'll be damned.
I hosted that show. that was this guy.
Because he had been at, I was working at Kellawayham at that time, and he had been in the radio station that morning and got to talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, super guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a super nice guy, and he's got great stories. I didn't find him to be the best comedian per se, because he was more so the like celebrity name dropping storytelling, and it's entertaining, and the crowd eats it up.
True.
So you can't. It's not like you can be mad at it, but it's
like how Nicholson had the hots for his mother.
Right. Yeah.
I remember him telling about that.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on then. Any other hobbies?
Chess. I play. So my son, he's 22. He lives with us, and we play chess almost every day when I'm at home.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that's actually kind of something a lot of people probably don't know about me. Is I'm a very avid chess player.
Ooh, any good though?
I mean, I'm decent. I'm no slap.
I've never played it. I've always wanted to learn.
Oh, really?
And I think that my wife
suck
and I
at teaching people.
Because
I have no patience.
Yeah. if we find the right nights, we're going to try a community ed class to do that.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to.
They do. There's like a chess club. There's a couple different chess clubs. There's one, I know they have a chess night at Full Circle Book Co-op, and I'm pretty sure that the downtown, one of the public libraries also does a chess night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think every week. I think so. I mean, you could look into it. There's a couple things already happening.
Man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Zach Dresch. Okay. When you are not in the arts and entertainment scene, which is like 3 minutes a day.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, what do you like to be entertained by?
Big fan of sleep. Really like it. It's really nice.
And I'm guessing that's the hobby too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually,
the hobby's snoring.
The hobbies that I do, because the things that I do when I'm not working my full-time job, which is kind of like my hobby at this point. I love the app Crossword Jam. I love doing crosswords. I'm no joke. I'm addicted to crosswords.
I love crosswords.
Yeah, they're so fun.
Yeah,
like when I'm just hanging out watching TV with Becca, I play Crossword Jam, and if I don't know a word, I'm like, babe, what's this word?
Yeah,
she'll get it off the beaten path. I'm like, damn it, come on.
See, my family, they're big puzzle people. You know, putting the puzzle pieces together, and they just can't stand it that I hate that.
Right.
But none of them do crosswords. That's mine.
Right. Yeah. I love crosswords.
Supposedly, doing something like that will keep your brain active and you'll be able to remember stuff for. Oh, yeah. What were we talking about?
Oh, I don't remember.
Right.
Yeah. I like to watch movies, TV shows.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to watch other stand-up comic specials. Is that for you, Will? Would you say that's
without
true?
Analyzing the crap out of it? Yeah.
Or comparing myself.
Right.
I can't do it.
I don't know if I compare myself or whatever, but I'm definitely like assessing
too much.
Yeah, I'm not enjoying what I'm watching, and it took a couple years for that to really kind of set in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it irritates my wife. If I watch comedy with my wife, she's like, she'll like smack me, but like, you didn't even laugh at that. That was funny. Like she gets mad at me for not laughing. So
if I was a fan of the comic before I started doing comedy, then I'll watch the specials because I'm excited.
Yeah,
because
well,
it's
like Bill Burr, I still watch.
Yeah, like John Mulaney, all that stuff. Totally, I will always be like, I'm watching that. But newer comics, I'm usually not. I'm not leaning towards like I got to watch that because I'm just like
understand. Yeah,
it's hard for me to not. It's weird. It's opposite for music. 'Cause I love watching concerts or going to concerts,
right?
Like rock concerts. I'm a huge fan, but I'm not comparing myself because I'm like I'm not the Smashing Pumpkins. I'm not Green Day. I'm not gonna I'm not doing that.
Right.
Also, another gig I forgot to mention.
Yes,
it's not been officially announced, but it's something that's in the works and will be announced. I figured it's something fun. A bunch of bands from Sioux Falls are doing albums from popular bands front to back at Icon, and we are playing Dookie by Green Day front to back. So I'm excited about that. It's later in December, so look for that. No details have been formally announced, but we got a similar group of people to play. Yeah. So
all righty. Hey guys, always great to see you, and
great to see you
have a great time on Saturday night, and certainly appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Dave.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, we'll be back to wrap up the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Check out the new ceramic studio in Sioux Falls, conveniently located off Kiwanis Avenue on 5th Street. TJS Ceramics inside Oscar's Mini Storage. Bisque, studio time, painting parties, and finished items are available. Visit TJS Ceramic Studio in Sioux Falls today.
He's jazzed to the eyeballs. Once again, here's Dave Hawley. Crikey, mate.
Thanks again to my guests, Mo Plastow and William Conway and Zach Dresch. As always, biggest thank you goes to each of you that listen, download, share, and follow. If you haven't so far, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. For all 206 episodes, go online at davehollyhour.com. As the Sioux Falls Arts Council says, together we art. As Arts South Dakota says, home is where the art is. As I say, put some art in your heart. Remember, I'm Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by TJS Ceramics Studio, Posh Boutique, The Sky & Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. If you would like to contribute to the continued success of this podcast, simply buy Dave a cup of coffee. Go to davehollyhour.com and click on the coffee cup icon. Don't forget to stay up to date on the show by following on Instagram and Facebook. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.